Imagine being at the peak of your legend. 7 world titles, records, fans and respect. Then you switch teams, hoping for rebirth, for glory, for another chapter of greatness. Instead, you're handed a nightmare. That's where Lewis Hamilton finds himself in 2025. The move to Ferrari promised red thunder, roaring engines, silverware. But what he got was instability, frustration, and a car that refuses to obey. Tonight, we're tearing off the helmet and exposing the real reason behind Hamilton's shocking struggles this season. Buckle up, because this ride is rough, and by the end, you'll see why 2025 might just be the toughest year in the longest and most celebrated career in F1. The numbers don't lie. In his first season at Ferrari, Hamilton has yet to score a single Grand Prix podium. 22 races in, and his highlight, a sprint win in Shanghai back in March. Since then, silence. He even qualified last in Las Vegas, the first time in his entire F1 career. He called that weekend horrendous. He admitted this is the worst season ever. Ferrari, once the land of legends, now looks like a trap. And at the centre of it all sits Hamilton, the driver who bought the myth, only to realise the machine wasn't built for him. So what went wrong? How did one of the greatest ever drivers wind up struggling so badly? Because beneath the headlines lies a shocking cause, one nobody predicted. And once you see it, you'll understand why this isn't just a bad season. It's a collapse of everything Ferrari promised him. First, the car itself. The 2025 Ferrari car, the Ferrari SF25, was supposed to be the rebirth. Engineers described it as a stable rear, high mid-speed cornering machine. On paper, ideal for a veteran like Hamilton, whose smooth style excels with stability. But after seasons of upgrades, testing and simulations, reality arrived, and it hit hard. At Qatar, during sprint qualifying, Hamilton lined up 18th and later called the car a fight like you couldn't believe. The rear wouldn't stay planted, the balance was off, and each corner felt unpredictable. Leclerc, his teammate, wasn't spared. He admitted there was zero performance in this car. The stable rear philosophy? It turned into a slippery trap. The SF25 isn't bad in corners by principle, but it demands consistency, setup precision, perfect tyre management, and phenomenal aero balance. If one link in that chain is broken, the car becomes a beast of pain. And in 2025, it appears Ferrari never secured that chain. But the shocker, the real cause, isn't just mechanical. It's psychological and structural. Halfway through the season, Ferrari made a brutal decision. They paused major development to focus on 2026. That means upgrades, wing tweaks, aero refinements. Gone. For Hamilton, that meant fighting a war with broken weapons. Team principal Fred Vasseur admitted the move was taken after seeing early dominance from rivals and deciding it was futile to chase 2025 glory. But that decision had consequences. Both Hamilton and his teammate Charles Leclerc expressed open frustration and disillusionment. For a driver used to a development culture at Mercedes, this felt like betrayal. Suddenly, his feedback, finesse and talent were wasted because the car wasn't evolving. It gets worse. The SF25, with its unstable rear-end issues and tricky balance, demands a certain driving style. Smooth, measured, predictive. But Hamilton isn't just fighting a car, he's fighting memories. He spent 18 seasons mastering throttle modulation, tyre conservation, rotation, precision steering, all tailored over time to Mercedes philosophies. Relearning, readapting, resetting, at 40 years old, is no small task. The gap between what the car demands and what Hamilton's instincts have spent 2 decades building, that gap is enormous. And that mismatch appears when the lap times show massive inconsistencies, when rear tyres overheat, when balance flickers, when stability evaporates. The data from Qatar captures it brutally. Both drivers knocked out in Q1, Hamilton starting 18th, Leclerc barely scraping to Q3. That's not just performance deficit, that's identity crisis. Adding a twist, during the 2025 Spanish GP, Hamilton finished far off pace even though tyres and track should have suited him. He radioed during the race, "There's something wrong with this car. It's the worst it's ever been." The anger, the frustration, not born of a bad weekend, but of a season-long core issue. And it's not just Hamilton. Everyone in Ferrari sees it. Build-up problems, set-up unpredictability, aero instability, rear-end snappiness. The car is a house of cards. If the deck shifts even slightly, high-speed corners, curbs, track bumps, the car falls apart. And for a driver like Hamilton, who's used to razor-sharp consistency, that fall isn't subtle, it's brutal. Let me pause. Quick break. If you're still watching, hit that subscribe button before we talk about the psychological toll. Yes, I'm serious. It helps, and you'll want to stick around for what's next. Also, drop in comments. What do you think is killing Ferrari's 2025 pace? Car or driver? Be brutal. I read them all. Back to the chaos. The mental pressure is crushing. Hamilton has admitted publicly that this is his most challenging season. He's burning through notes, giving feedback. So many notes, he said, but results keep sliding. Teammate comparisons don't help. Leclerc, while also struggling, occasionally extracts bursts of pace. That comparison only drives the psychological dagger deeper, and with his legacy at stake, every weekend starts to feel like a gamble, not a race. The final twist? Age and expectations. Hamilton is 40. Many drivers slow down mentally or physically by 35. But Hamilton's strength has always been his mind. Calm, tactical, responsive. Yet even the sharpest mind struggles when the machinery fights back. The SF25 isn't just unreliable, it's unpredictable. It punishes hesitation, it doesn't reward experience. And for a champion used to carving apexes with faith, that unpredictability feels like betrayal. So what does this all mean? 2025 isn't just another rough patch. It's a stark demonstration that even legends aren't immune to misengineering, flawed philosophy, or timing mistakes. This season could rewrite how we judge drivers and how we plan teams, because sometimes even the greatest driver needs the right car, or else everything falls apart. Yet, and here's the kicker, Hamilton isn't giving up. He said he doesn't regret joining Ferrari despite the chaos. He believes in the team's history. He still hopes for a rebuild. He still has faith that the SF25, or its successor, can be reshaped for success. But time won't wait. The clock is ticking. If Ferrari fails to deliver upgrades, balance, reliability, or if 2026's regulation reset doesn't favour them, this could become one of the most tragic what-if stories in F1 history. A champion switching teams at twilight only to be swallowed by ambition and bad machinery. Now, let me ask you, if you were in Hamilton's shoes, would you stay and fight or walk away before the scars get deeper? Write it down in the comments. I want to read everything. And if you enjoyed this brutal breakdown, check out the next video on your screen. Why Ferrari's 2026 car has to be perfect. Or it's game over. Hit like, smash subscribe, and stay tuned, because in F1 sometimes the hardest battles are fought off track, and sometimes races are won before the lights even go out.